Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 8 of season 2 of the F124 driver career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday from Miami, go back, check it out. It's safe to say I'm living up to my name as the unluckiest driver in the F1 world. We got well and truly screwed over once again for only the third time so far this season. But of course, yeah, if you're new around here, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel as well. It's nice to come back to a weekend that hasn't got a sprint race, which I guess is finally good. But hopefully, obviously, we can continue trying to get a good run of races underneath us there. Obviously, we've got all of our targets that we need to set like we do every single weekend as well. I mean, I wish you could just also kind of apply these in the future as well, but, you know, they're still quite fun to try and obviously figure out early on inside this game. We've actually got a new rival as well as we head into this weekend with Sir Lancelot, which we are apparently doing better at the moment. He's actually lost to driver racing so far this season, which I thought was quite funny. He's now down to 79, I believe, which is quite funny. So we are proving ourselves. We are winning in that rivalry at the moment. If we take a look at the bigger picture as well, Max Verstappen obviously still leading the championship after coming from 19th on the grid to take victory last time out in Miami. So it's looking like it could be another year of the Dutchman domination. We're still 6th ahead of Yuki Tsunoda, praying that maybe, just maybe, Ferrari are going to give us a call.
Hello and welcome to Imola, the home of Ferrari, the home of the Tifosi. We're about to get ready for practice and it's great to have you with us.
For the first time this year then we are back on European soil, and well, this was kind of the place where last season we were really starting to become a regular top 10 finisher, you know, always a threat for the points most weekends. So hopefully, obviously we've already been a threat for points most weekends so far this year, just got quite unlucky on a couple of occasions. I think that when you factor in everything that's happened so far, we've not done too badly. We are in a bit of a weird spot though, because obviously of the lack of upgrade path that we can take at the moment, R&D has kind of become a bit useless. As we make our way down in towards the final couple of Ravazzas, sorry, yeah, I mean, I'll still be going through these practice programs for their intended purpose of actually doing some practice. But I think I'll see you guys in qualifying.
Welcome to the circuit named for Ferrari. It is qualifying at a special arena for motorsport. Welcome to Imola.
Well, I've mentioned it in recent videos as well. Obviously, we're gonna start cutting out, you know, your Q1s and things like that from this series, especially when it's pretty much always Hulkenberg, the Williams, and the Kick Saubers that go out. You know, if we want to be a championship threat as well, and surely we're going to be making that a Q1 pretty easily. Not with lines like that, though, down at the first chicane. Must admit, I know this place isn't great for overtaking in Formula 1, and I think we've all kind of accepted we'll probably be coming off the calendar very soon, but in qualifying trim, it is so much fun there, even when I'm chucking it over the curb sideways at the end of the middle sector. Oscar Piastri sets the pace so far. I got no idea how competitive we're looking, though, relative to the McLaren. So we round our way through the final couple of corners there, trying to get right up close to the gravel. On the exit, the final corner, we're going to be a few tenths away from Oscar. We actually only split the Williams, so I hope once again, like in Miami, I haven't gone and jinxed myself. Oh, one of the Saubers seems to be grinding to a halt down at the first chicane.
Down to P17.
As we try and tip the car through plenty of curb on the exit, we're going to be that half second up though. So as long as we don't mess it up through the final couple of corners, we should still make our way into Q2. Obviously, haven't had a Q1 exit yet in a real qualifying session, only in the Miami sprint. And I'd like to keep that going this weekend. There is a little bit of a slide at the final corner, up towards the line, though we're going to make Q2, P13 in the end. And there we go, Max Verstappen ahead of Lando, Norris and Oscar Piastri. How many times have I said that so far this season? Clear of Lance Stroll and an Aston Martin sandwich. But yeah, it's your usual 5 out in Q1. Not sure we got the pace to make it into Q3. But again, how many times have I said that so far this season, and then we always seem to clutch it up. Well, Max Verstappen then fastest in all 3 sectors as we head out for our one run here in Q2. We're going to need to find about another 3 tenths. Yeah, at the moment, so far, it is pretty much all the drivers again that you would expect to see out in Q2. We are normally the one that can kind of upset that routine and Well, I'm sure we've been a painful outstroll this year in more ways than one. And we are even with Esteban Ocon then at the end of Sector 2. I've never seen that on this game. We've got to try and match a 15.1 there as the car sat nice and stable down through at the final few corners of this lap time, though. Braking down, rotate the car in. Oh, a little bit of understeer again. That's going to compromise our line on the exit. Try and put your foot to the floor. Hope the rear end will stay in check. Up towards the line. P9. We've done it again. Well, if I had a pound for every last-minute Banzai Q2 run we did in this series, I'd be a richer man than I currently am. Max Verstappen, though, again, fastest ahead of Lando Norris. Looked like Ferrari, though, might be in the mix this weekend, as it's myself and Pierre Gasly that will squeeze through into Q3 alongside all those big names. Both Aston Martins out in Q2 here. That's gotta hurt. And of course, we do get that one extra set of the soft compound tyres ready for Q3, and we're going to try and use it. Not that I'm convinced we'll be able to go quicker than anyone that isn't called Pierre Gasly. Even he's down into the 1:14.7s now, so we're constantly just seeing the AI ramp up here. But we're going to try and go for one big final run to try and boost our way up the order, braking at that curbing on the outside of turn 1. Oh, our car didn't sit as flat that time around as Oscar Piastri goes to the top of the board. Will we see Verstappen go quicker, though? Yes, we will, in a 1:13.9. Unfortunately for me, I'm too busy looking at what time he's doing, rather than where I need to be going on the road. So satisfying when you really hang on through both the entry and the exit of Aqua Minerale. You can see half a second now down on Yuki Tsunoda. He needs to have a big weekend here, showcase to Ferrari on home soil what he's capable of. But once again, those two fearsome Ravazza corners, they look so simple on paper. But if the track falls away from you in the first one, it kind of chucks you into the second one. So important you get a good run on the exit. A little bit of fishtailing from the rear of the car up towards the line. 14.7. We are fractions of a second slower than Gasly. Well, Oscar Piastri then getting the better of his British teammate. So far, Oscar really has been able to showcase to the team what he's capable of so far this year. Both of them, though, less than a tenth away from Max Verstappen. I believe it's exactly the same top 3 as we saw in the real Grand Prix here a few weeks ago. 17 thousandths, though, between myself and Pierre Gasly. It doesn't get much closer than that. But are we going to be able to hang on with the cars in front in the race, or are we just going to try and hang on for a couple of championship points?
Welcome once again to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo and Dino Ferrari. The clue is in the name. This is very much Ferrari home turf, and the locals will be out in force today to support their team in what we hope will be a magnificent spectacle of motorsport. On then to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. 3.1 miles of track at Imola, featuring 19 turns, 9 to the right and 10 to the left. Remember that Imola differs from most other Formula 1 tracks as it's driven anti-clockwise. Let's hope nobody forgets that today. The exit from turn 18 will probably be the setup for many of today's overtakes, leading as it does into the longest straight on the circuit and its only DRS zone. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. And Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Perez, Russell, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Gasly, Mr. Monaco, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Stroll, Sainz, Ricciardo, Albon, Hulkenberg, Sargent, Joe, and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. We welcome to the commentary box Anthony Davidson. I'm Alex Jakes. We're both looking forward to a really intriguing race today. So they've got lots of team members to get to know, to win over, and to get working for them. How do you go about doing that? It's really great to see team and driver working so well together. But there's always improvements that you can get in. Now, those final hours before a race, did you have a routine?
Well, for them, you've got your
We've got a great chance of getting another points finish in this race. Keep it clean and hopefully we can work our way up the field.
I don't know how many times I've listened to Alex Jakes ask anybody he possibly can whether they have a routine, even if he's asked him a completely separate question beforehand. That's why nowadays, usually, I have to cut the, obviously, just after the grid rundown, before he just asks the same question over and over. I'm genuinely losing my mind hearing it. EA, please fix ASAP. But we're already on the grid, though, here for the Emilia Romagna race. Tyre wear actually around here isn't too bad. So we're going to stay on the mediums for the start, but I'm not saying it's out of the realms of possibility that we could try and bolt on a set of softs for the second half of the GP here. Let's line it up, though, ready for the first Italian race of the year. It is 5 red lights. Got a mighty long hole, but it is going to be lights out and away we go. Or not if you're Lewis Hamilton, not getting off to a particularly good getaway. I haven't done much better either, though. There's a lot of duking around there. Everyone wants to be on the inside line, ready for the first corner. I'm happy to try and... I was about to say, I'm happy to kind of go on the outside. That has proven to be a mistake. No idea how we locked the rears there as badly as we've done, but for the second time this year then, just like we saw in Shanghai, I have got a lot of work to do early on. I don't know whether I nipped to wheel on the grass or what, but straight round for a nice, pirouette. We get to have a look at all the other cars as they make their way into the first corner. Lucky no one collected me or any damage, as Max Verstappen, though, still charging away at the front of the order. We've got to try and catch back up first of all. As Hulkenberg, down there in a Sauber sandwich. Well, we know how important the DRS is on this game, and as DRS obviously now enabled 1 lap earlier than in previous titles, we've got our work cut out. We are getting back closer to Magnussen. You can see once they get in that DRS range of each other, in the DRS zone, we're just slowly dropping away. The Sauber, luckily, is not a quick car. I would hope the tyre condition still looks good, Mark. We've been on them for 2 laps. Well, where we have now got so much work to do in today's race, that shift like I mentioned before the race, obviously about potentially being able to use the soft tyres towards the end, I think is going to have to be the plan of attack we use here, simply because obviously otherwise we're not really going to be able to carve our way through as quickly as I would like, as we're going to try and get a run then on Kevin Magnussen back down towards turn 1. Oh, I hate the way the cars just bobble over that curb. You want to try and slam the door shut, but he's not going to there, as we'll just absolutely hurl it around the outside of him. I'm happy with that one. Next up, our teammate, but obviously we've got to be careful with our battery management. Right, come on then, let's even try and get a run on Hulkenberg as we make our way back down towards turn 1. Everyone inside the range of each other, though, so we've got to use a lot of battery as Sargent's struggling with straight line speed. Oh, Joe there, going to go around the outside of the Williams. P16 for a Sauber car, that's one of their best positions so far this year, although admittedly, they've scored points. Williams haven't yet. Oh, really try and shut the car through the exit of the Gilles Villeneuve chicane.
Come on, mate, this is it. Let's try and get past them quickly.
Oh, I don't know whether the team have given us, whether they've given him team orders as well. So we try and make our way up the hill.
Nice work, you smashed it. Really good job on hitting that target, mate.
Well, I was trying to outbrake him. I didn't actually think I'd get right the way around the outside, though. But yeah, these real back markers we do need to try and get past as soon as possible. I feel like Hulkenberg now, to me, is... what is that? The AI not afraid to throw a bit of a dangerous block on each other. So Sargent, he just again wanted to pinch me out. Zoe tried to hang it back up the inside. The problem I've got, of course, is every lap we sit behind one of these just means the other faster cars are pulling away more and more. I feel sorry for Alex Albon. He's just that bit quicker than the rest of the back markers, but still doesn't seem like Williams have found enough pace to really battle with the cars in front. Often if he's able to stay in the range of other cars, then he's got a good chance. As how was Sargent? We absolutely flew past him and then he tucked back in the slipstream and was all over my gearbox again by turn 1. Well, maybe taking a little bit more out of the tyre than I would like to at the moment. I was planning on trying to get this set to about lap 20 if we could. Obviously then that would mean that we could safely get a set of softs to the end of the afternoon, but it's so much fun to push around this circuit that it can sometimes actually, mean you take more out of the car than you really need to. Around the outside of Albon will go. We might be able to drag him back up to the rest of this group. Oh, we got the yellows out. We got more yellows out as Pierre Gasly out of the Grand Prix.
Yellow flag ahead.
That's another Alpine power unit that's gone up in smoke, so at least that's realistic inside the game. I mean, Ocon had 2 last weekend and a puncture in Shanghai. So the French team might now have a car that is quick. They certainly don't have one that can survive races, however. Well, it wouldn't be a race on F124, would it, without a Lance Stroll train at one point or another? Obviously, we've come to blows with a Canadian more times than I care to admit so far inside this game. But yeah, now we've actually got a car advantage over Aston Martin. It's so nice to actually have a car that is quick in a straight line. It's to the outside of Carlos Sainz. Stroll has been jumped by Esteban Ocon. So are we going to get all the way around the Spaniard? Yes, we are. The AI, you can kind of pinch him there to the apex down at turn 1. It's a little bit risky, but it seems to work. Really trying to avoid that wheel spin off of that chicane. It's so easy to do, though, as down the inside Daniel Ricciardo don't often make moves into the Ravazzas, and I think even Ricciardo hadn't checked his mirrors until he tried to turn in there. Suddenly saw a Haas on the inside of him, but we might already be able to try and move ourselves back into the points then of this Grand Prix. It's Ocon very slow back down towards turn 1. We're going to keep trying to drain the battery. I have no idea how on earth I've just pulled that off. Doing well in excess of 200 miles an hour. 2 wheels on the grass all the way through the braking zone. I will probably never make a move as great as that. Technically that's legal, because I kept 2 wheels inside the white lines all the way down into the corner there, but how on earth I got that stopped, I have no idea. How did we find the grip? What was that?
Okay, we're approaching the pit window. You're going to be on softs.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to last for very long there, as we used so much battery last lap. We're going to be under pressure from Stroll this time. Down the outside goes the Canadian. I think he wanted to do what I did to him. But I'm happy to brake slightly later. Oh, no, Oscar Piastri, the McLaren driver who was battling for the lead.
No overtaking through the yellow flags.
Oscar Piastri has found himself in the gravel. What happened? I'm guessing he would have just had a big lockup. We're riding on board then with Oscar Piastri, who despite starting on hard compound tyres, leads the Grand Prix at the moment, but as he makes his way down in towards the final couple of corners, just locks the fronts up and has to take a trip towards the gravel trap, and then just decides he's going to have a picnic. Not really too sure why, but he's finally going to get back on the road there, maybe testing that the front wheels still work, but Oscar Piastri now left with a mountain to climb. Well, I was too busy taking a look at what happened to Oscar Piastri to realise that a load of the front runners have started diving into the pit lanes, so I think Piastri, he might be one of the only drivers on the hard compounded tyre here. I guess we'll find out in just a second, as I assume most of our other medium runners are going to peel into the pit lane. Looks like we've got some pretty good pace though, as no, maybe both McLaren. We saw them do this in Miami last time out. They like to stay out and go long. So yeah, there we go. They're trying to do it again then. So this is critical. I'm not boxing this lap. We're going to try and take these, like I said, to about lap 20. As you can see there, the tyre wear, we've got 50, just over 50% on the rear. Well, I'm not expecting McLaren to get the overcut here on Red Bull, but I am expecting them to potentially be able to fight it out towards the end. At least Lando Norris anyway. Oscar Piastri now has got his work cut out. His new fastest laps pouring in a little bit further behind. One thing I'm sure McLaren would love to see is a Red Bull squabble. And that's exactly what seems to be happening there. Verstappen practically pushing Max. Perez even practically pushing Max down at turn 1. Yeah, Red Bull Civil War, it is still there. We got Lando Norris into the pit lane at the end of lap 18. So yeah, you can take the mediums quite a long way, as we're showcasing here. So I'm surprised they've stayed out as far as they have. I would assume Lando's going to come out around that Ferrari. There we go, we've achieved our target goals, so we're going to be in the end of this one. And Oscar Piastri, I'm sure, then is about to dive into the pit lane in front of me, so we might just lead this Grand Prix for a few seconds here, although I think he'll probably stay out ahead of me. Oh, I don't want to get done for pit lane speeding. I always have to go quiet there, just to make sure that I don't do anything stupid. As will we get out ahead of the McLaren? Yes, we will, but we still didn't lead, because of Verstappen and Perez flying past us down towards turn 1. I apologise to Oscar there. I wasn't trying to slow him down.
Come on, perfect job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
I was really hoping we come out ahead of this big group of cars, but not even Oscar's going to manage to there, so that's a bit of a shame. We've got a lot of work still to do in the second half. We're on 2 stage softer tyres than everybody else. But yeah, we've got a lot to try and gain if we want to score some points. That's not good. I don't know what percentage the tyres were on after their qualifying run. They were a used set, but that is some very high wear on just the opening lap on them. We might have to nurse these towards the end, but I've got to try and get into track position first. Oh, well, I was really hoping we could try and go for fastest lap, but I don't think that's going to happen now. We're caught up in all this traffic. Lance Stroll is the one separating us from points.
9 seconds. Okay, mate. Tyres are wearing at quite a rate here, mate. Please try and look after them.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, we're going to have to nurse these tyres right towards the end of the afternoon. But like I said, there's no point doing that if we're not in the fight for that final point. Lance Stroll, though, is he going to drop back towards this group? Or has he now been given some freedom? In the air, I've just got nowhere near as much grip as me at the moment. Oh, to the outside of sights. He wanted to go right, I wanted to go left ever so slightly, or vice versa. But we'll go right. Hello, I'm still there, mate.
Maneuver, you made it look so easy.
Carlos Sainz there clearly not happy with a bit of an audacious move. Maybe felt the first bit of wheel banging was my fault, but needs to try and get a big run through the final couple of corners if we want to be able to challenge back down towards someone. Use the battery as best as we can. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're going to try and go for the same move we did on Danny Rick earlier on in the race. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Daniel Ricciardo. Again, he's just not wanting to defend down there. I'm not complaining. It works beautifully for us. And now we've got to try and see if we can do and get another double overtake. Just like we did earlier.
Push now, push.
Yeah, that ain't happening as Ocon really did squeeze Alex Albon back down towards someone. Around the outside of the Frenchman as Albon in that Williams. That thing is so quick in a straight line. Oh, Albon, a little bit of a moment. Are we going to be able to get a run on him? He just flicked the back end out of that Williams. Oh, around the outside, absolutely send it there into the chicane. And we are through. Not quite going to be able to build up the DRS window we need over him, so going to have to fly through the final couple of corners. But Stroll, 4 seconds up the road. We've drained the battery, but here comes Albon. Maybe should have defended more to the inside. Didn't need to. Oh, we've only got 7 laps to go, 6 laps to go, sorry, and the gap to Stroll is still 3 seconds.
Really good job.
We're taking time out of him each and every lap, but is it going to be enough? We need to get inside that DRS range and still have enough tyre to hang with him. But we need half a second a lap on Lance Stroll at the moment. That lap, we took 6/10 out of him.
Catching the car ahead.
Oh, we got another McLaren off. That's Oscar Piastri again. What is Piastri doing this afternoon? We've already seen him lock up once. He's going to do it again there as he's just sat in the gravel trap. And we've got a safety car.
Car is out. We need to form up at reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
Well, it's a very late call for a safety car here. I don't know which Red Bull driver's leading the way. I don't really think we got the opportunity to pit though again. But I don't know whether this helps or screws us. I'm staggered they gave us a safety car for that. We saw Zhou Guanyu literally last weekend in Miami go for a spin. Spent 20 seconds trying to sort himself out. And they didn't bring out a safety car. But here today, they have made it dramatic. 2 more laps to go from the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. It is still Red Bull fighting at the front of the field. But when are we going to go green flag racing? There we go. Really did screw us out of the final corner. But we're going to use the battery and immediately we're going to try and catch Lance Stroll off guard.
By 2.9 seconds.
I think the Aston Martin was using plenty of his battery as well. What? Lance? You got to give me some room, buddy. Down towards someone. Around the outside we'll go. Oh, and a power move made. Might be the last one I'm able to do today because the tyres are really starting to give up. But how could Lance... I mean, it's Lance Stroll, isn't it? Of course he couldn't see me on his outside. 1 more lap to go then here from Imola. I couldn't tell you which Red Bull it is leading the way. But if I was a betting man, of course all my money would be on Max Verstappen. Has won so many races so far this season. And I'm sure he'd love to make another one today. He continues to open up that championship lead of his.
DRS is now enabled.
It's not going to matter. No one's going to get to use it.
The race.
We try and hang close to Yuki Tsunoda back down towards turn 1. Just trying to save up a little bit of battery in case something happens. But these tyres, I'll be honest, I think that safety car came out at the perfect time for us. These tyres really now starting to hit the cliff. It was an aggressive strategy we played, but it was one that was pretty essential in the end. I don't think we would have had the pace to compete with the likes of Stroll had we gone with the normal strategy here. But up the hill we go for the final time. Ferrari car right in front of us It is going to be Red Bull, though, back on top once again here. As there we go, tyre wear warning light on. Goes to show you how much we're struggling right towards the end of this one. Just got to keep the car pointing the right way, though, through the final couple of corners. Mad to think we started this afternoon at the very first turn of the entire race, facing the wrong way around. But through the final few corners we're going to go then. Is it going to be Max Verstappen? Is it going to be Sergio Perez, who is going to take victory here in the first round back in Europe? Are we going to be able to get close enough to Yuki? We absolutely chuck it into the final corners. But I don't think we're going to have enough there. Up towards the line, it is going to be Sergio Perez, who finally takes a Grand Prix victory. We get so close to Yuki at the end. And had it been that start-finish line, we might have got him.
It's a performance that our Emilia Romagna Grand Prix winners can be justifiably proud of. And I'm sure there'll be celebrations tonight.
Sergio Perez has a huge fan base back home in Mexico, and they'll be over the moon with this performance today.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Well, there we go, though. In what has taken him more than 12 months since his last win in Shanghai last year, Sergio Perez finally back on top in the Formula 1 world there. It was a game of strategy, a game of chicken between himself and Max Verstappen late on in the day, but it was Sergio that was in front when Oscar Piastri binned it, and that proved pivotal come the end of the afternoon there. Red Bull 1-2, so I can't imagine Verstappen should be too upset ahead of Russell and Lando Norris there. Alonso, Leclerc, Hamilton, Tsunoda, myself and Lance Stroll rounding out your points finishes, with Ocon, Ricciardo, Sainz all as well getting ahead of Oscar Piastri, who really did have a day to forget there. Gasly, of course, went out very early on in the day, the only retirement from this afternoon's running. And that means if we take a look at the Drivers' Championship, Tsunoda, unfortunately, with that result, has got the better of me. We are down to 9th place, though, still ahead of Alonso. Perez, though, back within 25 of his teammate Verstappen there, as both Red Bulls really pulling away from Charles Leclerc and Oscar Piastri. It might still generally be the Max Verstappen show, but Perez is doing a very good job so far this season as well. It must be noted there. Constructors-wise, Red Bull, yeah, twice the points of anybody else. 5 now in it between McLaren and Ferrari. As Mercedes, I mean, there's 7 points covering those 3 teams. That's pretty mad. Aston Martin, though, for the first time this year, I believe, since Bahrain, they are ahead of Haas. So, yeah, we've got our work cut out trying to keep them at bay. Admittedly, it is basically myself versus Fernando Alonso in that battle as well. There is Alpine. I think we're going to end up in a 3-way fight before the end of the year as well there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon when Formula 1 returns ready for the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm going to take tomorrow off because, of course, it is Grand Prix Sunday. But yeah, we'll be back Monday. No, sorry, Canada, isn't it? Back Monday, Canada. Be there.